What up guys, it's Eero here. First time lifting heavy in about 2 years. Like for the past years I've been really focusing on more like just proper strength training, not doing any flashy stuff, not like show off heavy weights, pretty much really at all. Like last time I think we're still, when we went to Croatia I was doing some heavy lifting. That was like 2 years ago. So today we're gonna take a look at where I am kind of with some of the upper body exercises. So we're gonna start with the rows. I was here looking at the weights, and I used to do always rows with super heavy weights, trying to grow my back. I take like the heaviest one here is 42.5. I know people are gonna be saying like, well, you should always lift even more heavy. You know, there's always people are gonna lift more heavy, but this is the best that we have here. I think we're gonna take this over here. Let's see. You know, because I think the common thing with people really, when they stop lifting heavy, they're like, they think they lose it. You know, they think they lose the strength immediately. I don't think this happens really at all. So, and I would say it was pretty light, so I probably could have gone heavier. Let's see with the other arm as well. And I would say it was even pretty clean form. I probably did much worse back in the day. So all I would say is I have a better form, I feel stronger, I could lift as much weight as before. But the reality here is that this was not a clean form. For most people, like, this is a good form, but in reality I couldn't control that. I can lift it with a good form, which is usually most people's standards. But really, if I want to practice, when I do rows, what I want to practice this joint movement as clean as possible, developing that pure articulation. When I'm doing this, no chance of really training this motion. It's more like there's a little bit of swing. It's like kind of this art of cheating, you know, with the weights a little bit. We can take a look again. So it's basically very hard to get pure motion, kind of good, but not, well, I'd say 100 times better if I would use like maybe 20 kilos, 10 kilos, same things, better actually, better results. Let's take this back. So really, this is not the best way to train for the strength in your back at all. Like I can already tell, like I would barely feel properly anything working, anything muscles. Usually the people who grow some muscles with this type of training, it's that sort of jerking. You can grow a little bit of mass. The quality of the mass, very questionable. Not controlled, not pure strength at all. You're learning to jerk the weight. Not optimal. So let's take a look at now how to actually train for strength. You know, in all honesty, like I said, always choose the weight according to what weight lets you best work that articulation, which you have a clear target in your mind, your body, like what are you working? So you choose the weight based on that. Here, I would probably actually go lighter than what is here. This is 15 kilos. Yeah, I'm gonna get, I think the 10, maybe 9 kilo would be good. I might actually leave the bench away completely. This is one of those things. If you have heavy, you can really take from the bench and cheat even more. So I might do without it, focus on that core stability at the same time. So I make sure that I can actually keep this weight here and I can choose the range. This is actually fairly heavy to do it well. I would say the 9 kilo as well. So here I can actually choose whether I keep my shoulder blade stable, or if I want to train that mobility, I can lower it. I have that touch in the muscle all the time. I know, basically I'm aware of what my body does, what it's doing. I can change the angle pretty well, and all this makes a difference. With the heavy weights you can even change the form and it makes very little difference, because again, you're producing the force with mostly something else than really the muscles that you're trying to work here. So still 9 kilo, I would say a bit heavy, but a pretty good weight for me. But I mean, so if you look at the heavy form, I really want to make this clear. Like, what usually happens here, so if I consider this is the pure, this is what we want to train, okay? So first of all, what happens usually is this is the first. So it's the jerk with the traps. So this is why people usually they grow a lot of traps, a lot of tight areas in their neck, because this is all they do. They train this motion. The second is like you let the body heave a bit low. You come up basically by rotating your back up. The other thing that happens, which is even crazier, when people that lift, they first do this, then they return their body here. So it's like they decrease the activity even that much. So I'm raising here and then I return. Like this is a common heavy row. Like completely making it passive, the range that you're working on there. So if they do like 3 barbell rows, for example, it's hip motion and again like something like this way. So you go here, then you lower yourself quickly so that you can complete the row. So where do you think like there's that control or pure motion there? I don't know. Okay, so I want to also see like the press. This used to be my favorite exercise, heavy presses. Not sure what to try here. Maybe first with the 35 kilo. Let's see. Yeah, that still went up. Pretty fairly pure motion. Not sure if, I think my left arm is a bit weaker. Let's try with that, the 30. Okay, let's try, I think 37 and a half. I think that's the heaviest probably that I can manage. So let's see. Yeah. Now I wouldn't count that really as a repetition, but I think that the old me would have been really happy to get this weight up like the way I did right now. But I think it's a very good example. It's so clear that the repetition was kind of bad and we used a lot of, it was basically like a bent press, doing a bent press, almost bent like sideways from my body, trying to do the heaviest. But the important thing to realize here is that this is the optimal strength training for most people. Most people would think that this is it, this is what builds the strength, and would be like, yes. But I would say, actually doing this, I felt pretty good in my body. Shoulders strong and such. Like I feel stronger, but I can tell that the stimulus to my muscles, nowhere near optimal again. So yeah, that was 37 and a half. I'm gonna do a couple of maybe a bit cleaner reps with the left arm. Let's see, 30, 32 kilo, I think that's be good. Yeah, same thing. It was a bit cleaner than this, but not so much side bending. But again, there's really not much happening. I'm sure you would probably grow some muscle groups in your shoulder and such, but the strength, mobility-wise, thinking about your long-term shoulder health, pretty much terrible. Really, when you want to train strength for some area in your body, like focus on that area. Like if you want to train strength for your back, focus on that area, try to work it. Like don't focus on this or don't focus on this area. Like how do you think that's going to translate to the optimal strength gains in that area? You do the shoulder press, why would I focus on side bending or maybe jerking a bit with my leg strength, right? So it should make sense that whatever area you want to work on the strength best, then you focus on that area and try to minimize everything else, which I usually talk about is the skill component of an exercise. Skill component is everything else, that or unnecessary thing, that cheating kind of stuff. So seriously, I haven't lifted heavy in like 2 years. I don't think I've lost any strength. Quite the contrary, I feel much stronger, I feel much more well-rounded. Like back in the day, I think I just had so many different weaknesses, and like I don't feel pains. I'm more well-rounded. I have many different attributes, much more explosiveness, more endurance. And the reality is that if I wanted to get more this heavier numbers in this, all I have to do is like for about 2 weeks I gotta train my nervous system and practice that skill thing to get heavier numbers. Like that's it, but why would I want to do that really? The bottom line is focus on the area that you really want to develop the strength in. Stop focusing on the skill, because it's so often just a gimmick to lift heavier numbers, but it doesn't actually transfer to real strength and well-rounded athleticism. So there you go guys, hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Take care!